Hey. Hello. Welcome to Strange Times 10 in the double digits. How is everybody? Hope everyone's doing okay. We're in the middle of winter here, and it's not that bad. At least where I am, anyway. I know there's a few people in Australia living down in Melbourne. Like a few viewers, I should say, living down in Melbourne. And I bet you they're freezing their asses off. But up here in Brizzy, it's bloody alright, eh? Anyway, enough with the blabber. This first story you've probably heard about. I thought it was pretty funny. I only just came across it this morning. 185,000 truth seekers pledged to storm the gates of Area 51. Right, here we go. This sounds interesting. A large number of social media users have reportedly committed to rushing into the facility at the same time, being Area 51. The questionable venture, which is scheduled for September 20th at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. What? Anyway. Will see the attendees meet up at the Area 51 Alien Center in Amargosa Valley, Nevada, before moving on to the base itself en masse. Entitled Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, the ill-advised plan, which aims to find evidence of aliens at the base, was first posted up on Facebook by the user SmileyCon. As of writing this article, there are 185,000 people signed up to attend, and a further 220,000 who have registered their interest. However, it is unclear how many of them will actually turn up on the day, probably zero. Given that Area 51 is well known for its armed security patrols, it's difficult to imagine what would happen if even a small fraction of those signed up actually did attempt to storm the base. It's also highly unlikely that the stunt would yield any useful information about the facility. And suffice to say, rushing headlong through the gates of Area 51 is really not a good idea. No, it's not. What would happen though, like if 100,000 people turned up at a base and just said, yep, we're coming in? I wonder if they would have the right to just start gunning them down. It'd never happen, but I think it's supposed to be a bit of a... I think the name of the Facebook page is something like the shitposting group or something. So it's obviously started off as a joke, but it looks like some people have... I don't know if they're taking it seriously, but it's got a lot of interest anyway. And this next one is called Pterosaur Sighting. Pterosaur Sighting. The witness was driving on Jewel Road, about half a mile west of Gary Avenue, in Wheaton, Illinois, during the late afternoon of July 5, 2019. He had been helping a friend with a yard sale. As he was looking ahead of him, he noticed a strange form flying in the sky at an altitude of approximately 200 feet. The profile was that of a pterosaur, in particular, the long tail with a spade on the end. The head was indistinguishable because of the angle, but the wings were wide and similar to the classic form of pterosaur. The creature was dark in color and propelled itself with slow, deliberate wing flaps. The witness was able to observe the winged creature for 15 to 20 seconds and is positive that it was not a crane or a heron, which he is very familiar with. The wingspan was undetermined, but much wider than any known indigenous bird. I'm always interested in those dinosaur sightings. I don't think it's an actual living cryptid, like a living dinosaur. I kind of think of it more like a time slip type incident. I'd love to see a dinosaur, that would be cool. And now we got one from Oh, it's called Robbie Williams Haunted. Robbie Williams, the British singer, has said he was nearly driven to suicide by a ghost haunting his house, which he later found out was built on a Black Death burial site. The pop star, 45, said he thought about killing himself before eventually leaving the house in Primrose Hill, North London, for a hotel. Quote, "If it had stayed with me, I would have killed myself," he said. The singer told Rolling Stone's Ronnie Wood's, hang on a sec. The singer told Rolling Stone's Ronnie Wood's ex-wife, Jo, on her Alien Nation podcast. That sentence didn't really make sense to me, but I'm going to keep going. Quote, "Music started spontaneously. Locked doors opened. I'd be in the house and hear footsteps going up the stairs. It got progressively worse. I'd get in the car and it would jump in the back seat. It got darker and darker, so much so that 2 months in, I couldn't deal with it anymore. If this stays with me, I was thinking about committing suicide." The singer said that the experience happened when he was in his 20s. He also admitted he was doing a lot of coke at the time. That might add to the whole experience. What's that quote from Chappelle? Cocaine's a hell of a drug or something, is it? I can't remember. I think it is. Anyway. Last week he said he was haunted by Mama Cass in a house rented from the Ghostbusters actor Dan Aykroyd 18 years ago. Robbie said he felt terrified when he entered the Los Angeles mansion, once home to the Mamas and the Papas singer Cass Elliot, who died of heart failure at age 32 in 1974, saying it was, quote, "completely and utterly haunted." He said a friend he was then living with came down from the shower one day, quote, and he was white. He told Robbie, "I've just had a conversation with someone that wasn't there," close quote. And that's where it ends. Kind of vague. But it's all, everything he's talking about there, it's all typical haunting sort of phenomena. We've heard it hundreds of times. And speaking of hauntings, this next one is a poltergeist experience. I was about 12. My granddad had passed away recently prior to this. All the windows in the house were shut. I was the last one to come upstairs. I was in the upstairs hallway leading into my bedroom, which was straight ahead at the end of the hallway, when I felt this sudden urge to just run. This feeling of danger just came over me within a split second, and I just started off into my room, slamming the bedroom door shut behind me. Then I felt safe. Skip forward a minute or two as I was getting into bed, and then I felt the same feeling again. Terrified as I was, I huddled into the corner of my bed. Then I heard something slam into the door, as if someone had run into it. I stayed deathly still for a good 5 minutes. Plucking up the courage to check, there was nothing there. I ran into my mum's bedroom and told her what happened. She didn't believe me and told me to get back to bed. So I decided to sleep in a different bedroom. Just so I could hear the stuff around me, I left the door open. I was sitting up in this huge double bed with the duvet over everything except my eyes. I left the outside light on too. Just as I was starting to feel sleepy, I saw something black, like a shadow, flicker in the hallway. I froze and immediately thought about running into my mum's room. I shouted to her a few times, and she started to get out of bed, but she opened her door and just stayed at her doorway, asking what it was. We had both seen the same thing at this point. Then, my bedroom door opened ever so slightly, then forcibly shut halfway. as if someone used all their force to slam the door and then stopped halfway. Then the same thing happened again. I heard my mum shout my name, and then my bedroom door opened wide and then slammed shut. My mum shouted again, asking if that was me, and I just screamed back no. And that story ends right there too, so I guess nothing else weird happened after that, but how freaky. Definitely wasn't the wind. Okay, this last one is more of a... I'm just going to inform you that I've put a link down the bottom, obviously. And it's a link to this new enhanced Patterson-Gimlin film, the Bigfoot film. And it's really interesting. I haven't had a good look at it yet, but from what I've seen, it's convincing. I find it convincing anyway. It really looks like a female Bigfoot, because you can see breasts on it. And I don't know, just you can also see its face a bit better. And it looks, to me, it looks convincing anyway. But like I said, I haven't really examined it, but I'm going to have a look a bit later on. But I wanted to share that with you guys here. So check it out. And that's all I've got for today. It's a short one. I'm late again. I'm not even going to promise anything, as usual. I'll just chuck these things up when I can. And hope you guys have a good day. I'll catch you next time.